I got to say something. There's been a lot of um, situations going on right now in America. And so many people have been frustrated with the BS that's been happening. And, I've been having these conversations with a lot of people, and I've just pretty much come to the conclusion that just because you don't see everyone on the front line doesn't mean that we are not supporting from behind the scenes. There are a lot of people who are not willing to die for such causes that we are seeing right now. But there are people who are willing to help you financially support these causes. So I don't want people sitting here going through the motions of getting upset with people that don't want to go on the front lines to support some of these efforts, putting their lives at stake. My thing is, if you're going to have people go on the front lines, are you going to have bail money for these people? So we can't sit here and say, well, why aren't you doing your part? Like this young lady, I just saw her post, and she said, teaching is a form of activism. And I concur. Every day that I get to walk into the classroom and meet children of all different ages doing my STEM outreach, that is a form of activism. Why? Because these kids don't get the chance that they need and deserve oftentimes. They don't know that they can become that scientist. They don't see people every day that look like them to want to give them inspiration to become that scientist, that chemist, that biologist, that forensic scientist, that homicide detective, that nurse, that doctor, that lawyer, that engineer. So y'all can miss me with all of this. Why aren't you on the front line? Just because I don't post about what I do don't mean I'm not doing anything behind closed doors. Real G's move in silence. Okay? We don't have to tell every move of what we're doing to make change. We don't have to tell everything, every move that we're providing for our community. Here's something else I want you to keep in mind, that just as that we have people that are willing to go on the front lines to help support a lot of different causes, we also have people that are behind the scenes that you will never, ever know their names. There are people that are really doing their part behind closed doors. And there are so many people that I have come across, so many posts I have read where they're shaming people for not being on the front lines. They're shaming people for not posting daily all of these atrocities that are going on. Hell, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired too. I got my ancestors running through my blood, and they're telling me what I need to do, and I'm doing my part. But y'all can miss me with this, why aren't you posting? Because again, I do what I do, you do what you do, stay in your lane, and don't come over here running in my lane, because if you do, you might get run off the curb. And for those of you that are under the sound of my voice, have ever supported me, I thank you, because it's because of people like you who have allowed me to be able to go into the schools and do my STEM outreach, because you provided financial resources for me to be able to do that. You're paying me to go into the schools to do the necessary activism that it takes to inspire and motivate these children. I teach part-time as a professor, okay? Many of you all get it twisted. You think, oh, she's rolling in the dough. No. Let's not get it twisted. I teach part-time, but my full-time job is to be a STEM outreach consultant that inspires and motivates kids to want to pursue STEM education, to give them hope. My full-time job is motivating these little brown children, these little black children, these little kids who don't have a chance, who don't get the opportunity to do what I do because they're not given the resources. I've been in education for over 20 years, and I've come across a lot of children. Many of you all don't know the backstory to what made me want to do what I do. I'm just going to give you a little snippet. Growing up in my community, I went to a predominantly white middle school. I dealt with a lot of racism during those years. I had racist ass teachers who could give two freaks about what we did in their classroom. My father made sure that he wrote it out for me, meaning he came to the school. He did not allow them to disrespect me and talk shit about me just because I was so-called rebellious and didn't want to listen. You see, when you put children in certain situations, in certain environments, they're going to buck depending on the circumstances. And as a teacher, I know for many, many years, the way you treat children, they respond. If they don't feel any love coming from you, they're not going to reciprocate. They're going to do the exact opposite. There have been many times when I've gone into the schools with some children who at first didn't know how to trust me. And when I showed them that motherly side, that auntie side, they changed their whole tune. They look forward to me coming into their schools. Oh, there's Miss TK. There's Miss TK. The kids love me. When you show children love, they give it back to you. So growing up, seeing all of that negative energy during my middle school years gave me a lot of incentive to my adult life right now. You see, I wasn't lost on who I am, okay? I knew who I was back then, and I know who the hell I am today. But a lot of people get it twisted. They think that you're supposed to show and tell everything, every move you make. But that's so not true. So all these people who are out there on the forefront, I rocks with you. I understand what you're doing. But let's not shame people who are not able to risk it all to do those things. My activism is teaching. I've always said that. I speak for the children that can't speak for themselves. I am the voice for those voiceless. I am the voice for parents who don't know what they can and can't do in the schools. I give them tips and tricks on how to get around certain things in the public school situation. I give them the resources that they need. That is my form of activism. So the next time y'all want to say you're not doing your part, well, ask them, have you supported me in my efforts on what I'm doing? Okay? And like I was saying earlier, those of you that have provided resources for the My Gym Science Center to be able to go into the schools, I appreciate you 100. I appreciate all of your efforts. I do not forget those that have provided for me. I do not forget those that have allowed me to be able to send my kids to school, to college, without having to take out student loans. I have not forgotten about you all. I have made many sacrifices to do what I do. So just please understand that everybody can't be on the front line. We got to have people that can take care of things behind the scenes. We got to have people that are doing their part behind closed doors to ensure that those of you that are on the front scenes can continue to do what you're doing. Because without those financial resources, without those people who are giving you certain supplies and materials, you wouldn't be able to do it either. Okay? So I'm just going to end it here. There's one other thing I want to say. There have been so many people also who shame people for not being so-called woke. Let me tell you something. There are a lot of people that you would not know how woke they are simply because you haven't gotten the time to take the time to know who they are. There are a lot of people who don't always say a lot, but they're doing a whole lot without you seeing, without you noticing. People can ask questions. People can wonder certain things. But again, the best thing we can do is help. Sometimes you can help without saying anything. Just do it. And you don't have to tell everybody that you did it. Just do it. Peace.